Right, grade 11s, let's look at a further coordinate diagram example. Now here's a little bit more of a challenge. Okay, I'm going to say to you if, okay, here we write this down. If 8 tan theta, okay, you with me, plus 15 is equal to naught. Okay, so that's the one side. And at the same time, they're saying that the angle will lie, now watch this, from 90 to 2, now careful with this, 90 to 270. Okay, determine the value of 34 sine theta minus 17 cos theta without using a calculator and by means of a diagram. Now we've got three important things. The first thing is we've got this equation. We need to create a trig fraction. Then we have a restriction. Okay, we need to find out where we are. So let's start off by dealing with the 8 tan theta plus 15 is equal to naught. We're gonna create a fraction out of this first. Okay. Now the first thing we do is we're gonna see what this is. Okay, so we bring the 15 over and it becomes negative 15. Cool. Now divide both sides by 8. So you're left with tan theta is negative 15 all over 8. And that's great, but now before I do anything else, I need to find out where I am. So I'm going to draw my little coordinate diagram thing here. Let's see where we are. Okay, now remember, all are positive in 1. Sine is positive, tan is positive, and cos. All students take coffee. So where is tan negative? Well, tan is negative in the second and the fourth. Okay, remember that's quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. All are positive here, and tan is positive there. So it must be negative in 2 and 4. Alright, so hold on to that. But now, what we need to find out is what does this tell us here, 90 to 270? Well, 90 to 270 is essentially going from, if you take that as from 90 all the way to 270. So what you can do is you can span across quadrant 2 and 3. So when you look at this restriction 90 to 270, what quadrants are you allowed to be in? Well, 2 and 3. From 90 to 270, you can be in 2 and 3. Now, if you think about it carefully, tan, if you look at this carefully now, watch this. Tan is negative in the second and the fourth. But this restriction says you can go from 90 to 270. So you can be in any of those quadrants. 90 all the way to 270. Now, to meet both conditions where tan is both is negative and you lie between 90 and 270, you have to be in the second quadrant, because tan is negative in this quadrant here. In the third, it's positive, and you can only go from 90 to 270. So the thing is, you have to be in quadrant 2 because that's where tan is negative and where the angle can be from 90 to 270. Alright, okay, cool. Now, in other words, we are then in quadrant 2. Okay, now I'm going to draw a diagram quickly with all of this information. So we've got our, let's draw a little y-axis there, and our x-axis, and we in quadrant 2. Okay, now what do we know about tan? Well, tan we've worked out as negative 15 over 8. Now, in other words, we know tan your exterior. Science shade your rear because X-rays tan your exterior. It's the y over x. So we don't know the r. We know that this is angle theta. Okay. But now, if you're in this quadrant, the y values are positive and the x values are negative. So in fact, what is important is to say, well, y, you're going to stay 15. Okay, no problem. You're going to stay at 15. You're positive. But x, you're going to grab that negative, and you're going to be negative like you should be. Because remember, that's where negative 8 is there. And then this vertical is the 15. So you're going this way. That's where x is negative 8. You see, there's your right angle triangle. Okay. So it's important to know where to put that negative. Once you know tan, which quadrants are you in, which is the second, because you're going from 90 to 270 and tan is negative in the second quadrant, then you can say, well, y must be positive, but x has got to be negative. So that can go down. It's still the same. Okay. All right. Now, we've got that. Now, the only thing is we need to work out is r. Okay, so if we backtrack a little bit, let's see where we're at with this thing. Okay, we were given 8 tan theta plus 15 is naught. We reworked it into a fraction. It's negative. Tan is negative in the second and the fourth. That's where tan is negative. And the restriction from 90 to 270 gave us those two. So we knew that we were in quadrant 2. Okay, so we're there, and then we know that that's our x, our y, our r is unknown, and we can then proceed to use Pythagoras to work out that r. Okay, so it's x squared. Notice, very important, x is negative, the y is positive, and we're working out r squared. That's 64, and 15 squared is 225, and if you add that, you get to 289 is r squared. 289. The square root of 289 is going to be plus minus 17. Okay, that's the square root of 289. Okay, good. Okay, so if we look at that now, what we can say is that because it's the r is always positive. There's no ways that your radius will ever be negative. Okay, great. Okay, so what we can now do is we've got x, y, and r. Let's summarize it. We've got x is equal to negative 8. The y value was 15, and the radius is 17. Okay, now how do we then work out? If we go back to the beginning, we want to work out, so we worked with that, Now what is this? Using this information. Okay, cool. So what we then do is say, if we want to work out 34 cos theta, or sine rather, let's just edit that so that we can get it properly. There we go. It's going to be sine of theta, and then it's going to be, what is the question there? Let's just check it. It's minus 17 cos theta. Well, what do we know? Sine is shade your rear, because x rays tan your exterior. Okay, so what is the y? The y is 15, and the radius is 17. Great. Minus 17, x is negative 8, and the radius is 17. So what would that be? That 17 goes into 34 twice, which is fine, and 2 times 15 is 30, and then that's plus, minus and minus, plus 8. And then, because the 17's cancel, so you get 38. All right, people, so that's the important thing where you're in other quadrants as well.